This short lecture is intended to give an overview of the Cash for Coolers paper. You should have read it, at least an abstract in the introduction prior to watching this. So in the Cash for Coolers paper, what did they do? The study uses the universe of electricity billing and appliance replacement data. That means just all of the data on electricity billing. So when you pay your bill to your utility, they keep track of that information, how much electricity you used. And they also, in some cases, not in Fort Collins, but in the case of this paper, they keep track of who owns what appliances and when they replace them. So there's two major components of the data used in this paper. They use 2 years of electricity billing data for every household in Mexico between 2009 and 2011. That's a lot of data. Administrative data on all participants in the appliance replacement program. So they have data on the date of replacement, the amount of the subsidy that was provided for replacement, and the reported age of the replaced appliance. And so those are going to be things that are used in the analysis. The date of replacement is sort of the treatment date. Amount of subsidy is a control variable, and the reported age of the replaced appliance should be a control variable as well. The two dates are matched, and data sets are matched, and we can observe electricity consumption before and after the appliance replacement. And so we can, at the most basic level, look at how electricity consumption changes after an appliance is replaced with a more energy efficient appliance. The setup for the econometric analysis, if you've taken econometrics, you'll know, especially in my course, you will know about omitted variable bias. And so this is what this slide is about. Can we compare the final electricity consumption of the households who participated and the ones who did not? Not necessarily. There might be lots of differences that we do not observe between the two groups of households, and we'll see a graph of that in a moment. And so we might need to find a special control group that looks more like the treated group. Can we compare the electricity consumption of a household before and after they get the new appliance? No, we can't do that either. There might be changes over time in electricity consumption. Maybe a household had a child, so they're consuming more electricity. Maybe they lost their job, so they're home more often, consuming more electricity, etc. Or seasonal patterns in electricity use. We have to consider that people might use more electricity in the winter when they're home, staying indoors more often than in the summer. So to account for these issues, the analysis uses this large data set to undertake multiple types of comparison. They're going to use what are called fixed effects to compare the same household over time in the same months and years with and without the new appliance. So they're going to use fixed effects, and they're also going to, I don't expect you to know what fixed effects are, but that's what they're using, and they're going to use a matching approach. Construct a comparison group of similar households who did not participate in the program. That's the matching approach. In other words, neighboring households with a similar history of electricity consumption. So here, this graph kind of shows why we need to have all these extra controls and a matching approach. So all non-participants are not a good comparison group for participants. So what this graph is showing is that non-participants matched on location, non-participants in general, the squares have a lower average electricity consumption than participants. So the hollow squares are the lowest line in here, but the participants have a much higher average electricity consumption, particularly in the summer months. And so if we were to use these non-participants in general as a control group for the participants, we would have some problems because they're completely different households for reasons other than changing appliances. They're maybe poorer. They're just not a good control. And so the paper uses a matching approach to get a better set of non-participants, and that's going to be the filled-in triangles. And you can see the matched non-participants are much closer in an average electricity consumption to the participants than the non-matched non-participants. So the results of their paper, a refrigerator replacement reduces electricity consumption by 8% on average. Air conditioning replacement actually increases electricity use. So the refrigerator replacement, obviously we don't turn it on and off our refrigerator, so that's 8% is coming from the energy efficiency of the refrigerator. Air conditioning is slightly different. This could be the rebound effect, where providing a more efficient air conditioner actually causes an increase in electricity use. And they find this is an expensive way to reduce emissions from electricity consumption at about $500 per ton. So it's much higher than typical estimates of the social cost of carbon. So might not be the best way to get emissions reductions.